What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our NFL power rankings for Week 16 after a crazy week, moving games, COVID related. We're just, happy that everyone got their game in. And unfortunately, some teams weren't happy that they played because it didn't turn out well for them. But we're just going to move right into this week. And we got Jacksonville coming in at last. People thought maybe they're going to win this one because Urban Meyer's gone. That didn't happen. Lost to Houston at home. And it's going to be a battle for last place this week as they're going to be playing the New York Jets. Not much to be said about this team. They were in it. Could have ended Miami's win streak and then just fell apart come the fourth quarter. And, if you lose this week, both teams are going to be 3-11. And we're going to have to move the Jets down because they lost to Jacksonville. At least I got Zach Wilson, who's shown some promise over these last few weeks. 30th, we got the Texans who beat Jacksonville, nothing to be proud of. Now you got the Chargers at home. So pretty much another loss as this team's looking like a top 5 pick guaranteed here. And same for the Lions. The shocking win potentially of the year is the Lions beating Arizona by a good 18 points. And I think, they're starting to find their groove. Yeah, the season's over for them, can't make the playoffs. But if they can rattle off a few wins here, who knows how this team's going to be next year. And under Dan Campbell, they show fight. And I give them credit. It's still chugging away, trying to win every game and not really just calling into season already. But they're going into Atlanta this week, and, they could pull off another upset. I wouldn't be too surprised if that happens. 28th. We got the New York Giants, who I don't even know what to say about this team. Daniel Jones is done for the year. Mike Glennon, you got him running the show, and at least Saquon's healthy. I think that's the big thing right now. Keep him healthy going into next year, and maybe next year he'll be the back that they need him to be. And the 27th, we got Chicago Bears, pretty terrible. Matt Nagy needs to be fired. And Fields will thrive. Next year, I think this team won't be relatively close at all to this ranking if they have a new head coach. They have talent on the roster. It's just the coaching is the problem in Chicago, and they need to pretty much clean the house. But let's see what Fields can do these last 3 weeks. 26th, we got the Panthers who, at one time were in the playoffs and a team that people were like, okay, this team's pretty good. But I believe they've lost 4 in a row now, losing to Buffalo. And now you got Tampa, probably going to be another loss. Expect this team to have a top 5 pick in March. Then you got the Falcons, a team very interesting here. Beginning of the year, this team was looking really good somehow. We didn't really know how they were doing it, but I think their true form came out. Especially in this game, getting blown out by San Francisco. And now you got the Lions this week who pretty much play upset every week. And I wouldn't be too shocked, if the Falcons lose this game. 24th, we got the Seahawks who last night, it kind of gave the Rams the game, but they also did get hosed on a few calls, pass interference-wise. And Russell Wilson, I mean, he's cooking, but who knows what he's cooking. Probably just making some cereal right now. Not looking good, but hopefully they can get back on track here against the Bears this week. 23rd, we got the Washington football team, and their playoff chances are pretty much slim to none after this loss to Philly. You got Dallas this week at Dallas, and if you lose that, you're done. But to credit, not having Taylor Heineke hurt this team. And he's been the sole leader of this team so far this year. Coming up, really had Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's who they were depending on. Got hurt game 1, and then Heineke became the guy. It's going to be interesting next year to see if he still will be the guy, if they're going to go look for some veteran leadership. In 22nd, we got the Denver Broncos, who I think I put them down here because, one, they lost Teddy Bridgewater in the game, and then since that moment it kind of just all spiraled downhill. But 7-7, if they win this game this week, they'll be back up to right where they've been, mediocre at best, all year. And if they win, they're going to be serious playoff contenders as well. but I think it's a tough task right now for the Broncos, depending on how Teddy Bridgewater, if he can even play and how he's doing. 21st, we got the Eagles who beat Washington last night. Didn't watch the game. I was watching another game, but I don't know. There's not really too much to write home about this Eagles team. I think miraculously that they're 7-7 right now is pretty good. Miles Sanders, I know that he still hasn't scored a touchdown this year, and he's being pretty productive as well. So once he gets his touchdown, hopefully, it'll be many to come as well. But Giants, I think they should win that game, move to 8-7, and become a serious, playoff contender for the last 2 weeks. And then you got the most disappointing team right now, probably in football, with the Browns. Not having Case Keenum or Baker Mayfield doesn't help. But Nick Mullins played decent enough to win the game, but they just lost on the last-second field goal. And now you're going into Green Bay on Saturday night, which is Christmas. Probably going to lose this game, in all honesty. Green Bay's on fire, but hopefully they can get at least healthy for this game. I guess that's the big thing moving forward. 19th, you got the Las Vegas Raiders, who, just beat Cleveland. And this team has been mediocre at best. Once Gruden resigned, their whole organization's having kind of a dumpster fire right now. It's just been a lot to manage this year, and 7-7, I think they're very happy with that on how everything has played out so far. But if you beat the Broncos here, you might be looking at a playoff berth. And the Saints, with the ugliest win probably of the year, 9-0 against Tampa. Shutting out Tampa is a tall task. Tom Brady hasn't been shut out in 10 years, I believe. Did that, and they kicked 3 field goals to win this game. A win's a win. But the game next week against Miami, team who's what I believe ripped off 6 straight, are going to put that win streak to the test. And I think, the Saints may struggle a little bit, but should be a good game. 17th, we got the Steelers, and, somehow beat the Titans. Titans choked that one away. And to their credit, they're somehow still in the playoff race. I think it's just because no one really has stood out to me, especially in the AFC this year. And then you're going against the Chiefs, who have COVID issues right now, so that game could get postponed a few days. But right now, I think if you're Steelers, this is your chance to really put up or shut up, as we're getting here and late in the season. 16th, we got those Dolphins I was just talking about. Win against the Jets, come from behind victory. It's the Jets, but hey, a win's a win, and you're in the playoff hunt. And now you're going into New Orleans. If you can get a win there, I think this team is going to make the playoffs in the AFC. If I would have bet on them to make the playoffs when they were 1-7 or 2-7, whatever they are, I would have said there's no way. But to their credit, they have had an easy schedule, and they've won all those games. And I think it's going to come down to Tua this week to see how the Dolphins do. 15th, we got the Minnesota Vikings, who, they beat Chicago. Nothing really to talk about. No spectacular performances. Got the Rams in a game that the Vikings desperately need to win to keep their playoff chances alive. 14th, we got the Ravens, who honestly may look like the same team with Tyler Huntley or Lamar Jackson. They both play similar quarterbacking skills, and I think Tyler Huntley will have a job as a starter next year for a different organization. But 2 questionable losses so far, the Steelers and the Packers. Why are you going for 2? I thought you'd learn your lesson once. Still go for 2. Don't get it. Lose by 1. Just kick the extra point. You got the best kicker in NFL history on your team. So why are you going for it? And now you got the Bengals in Cincinnati. You lose this game, and not looking like your chances of making the playoffs are good. But, if you win this game, you're probably going to win the division. So I'd say everything rides on this game this week for the Ravens. And 13, we got those Bengals who are in the same situation. They get the benefit of the doubt. It is a home game for them. And they really haven't, played spectacular ball against the Chargers. The game that they lost, they played pretty well, but unfortunately the Chargers just scored more points at the end of the day. And if this team can, I think put up 24, I think they will win this game against the Ravens. 12th, we got the Tennessee Titans, who take a slight fall after losing to Pitt and blowing that game. I believe they were up 13-3 and got outscored 16-0 the rest of the game in the second half. Not having Derrick Henry hurts his team so much, as we've figured out. But Deonta Foreman, he's carried the workload in the backfield. Played pretty well against Pittsburgh, but unfortunately, they didn't win, didn't do enough. But now you got the 49ers at home, and this is a huge game for the Titans. One, for playoff seeding, and two, to see if they really are a contender this year. And if you win this game, people are going to start turning their heads back towards your way and thinking, okay, maybe they are pretty good. And they're really hoping for Henry to come back in week 18, but that is a few weeks from now, and we'll see when that happens. 11th, we got the Buffalo Bills. Beat Carolina pretty easy. Not really much to talk about in that game. And now you go against the Patriots, who have been, the worst enemy to Buffalo, not just this year, but pretty much the last 5 years, ever since Josh Allen's got there. Seems like this is the game they can't win. I think the script's going to change this week, as the Bills may pull off the upset, but the spread, I believe, is going to be something to bet on if you're looking into the Bills. 10th, you get the San Francisco 49ers, who beat Atlanta pretty good. A team that's slowly been on the rise this last month and a half. Going against Tennessee in Tennessee, you win this game, you pretty much lock up a playoff spot in the NFC, I would think. There's no way they lose their last two, but Deebo Samuel has been the man this year. The running backs, who knows, but they get it done. And Jimmy G is slowly, been an average quarterback, but no one's talking about him, and he's playing pretty well. But to his credit, the Niners are looking pretty good, and we got him in our top 10. 9th, we get the Chargers coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. Got the Texans, so they should rebound this week, but they need to fix the overtime rules. How do you not have Herbert get a chance to, at least match the touchdown? But, come on, NFL, you need to figure that out. 8th, we got the team that's making the biggest jump this week in the Indianapolis Colts, who beat the Patriots. Ethan, who is unfortunately not with us today, he is too busy right now to do a video. He picked the Colts this week, and I'm kind of surprised that he did, but it worked out for him. And now you got the Colts going against the Cardinals, who are, desperately needing a win, and same for the Colts to keep their playoff chances alive. But I think the Colts could pull off the upset here. And we'll go from there. But 7th, we got the Arizona Cardinals, we were just talking about, lost to the Lions, which is pretty embarrassing. They look like they've never played football before. Kyler Murray was terrible, and this team's slowly on the decline. And if they lose out, this team may not even make the playoffs, I believe. I think that's still a possibility. But got the Colts, and it's a very, very, losable game, I think. The Colts are hot, Cardinals are not, but they do get the benefit of the doubt here, as it is a home game. So we'll have to see. It should be a good game. 6th, we got the Dallas Cowboys, who beat the Giants. The defense was spectacular yet again. The offense managed to barely put up 21, and they won the division, I think, if they win this game against Washington, or if with a Philly loss. But I just, they need Dak to step up and be the guy that he was, before the ankle injury, before the calf injury. 5th, we got the New England Patriots, lost to the Colts, but I think they can rebound this week against the Bills. They always have the Bills number, and that's probably going to be the best game of the week, I think, because it means so much for both these teams. The Bills win this game, they're right back in the AFC East. Patriots win, I believe they win the AFC East. So not on the line here for them, but Mac Jones has been really well this year, potential offensive rookie of the year. And somehow Bill Belichick gets it done no matter who he's got. 4th, we got the Bucs, who I think, you got to give them some credit for at least trying in this game. Once you lose Chris Godwin, done for the year. Mike Evans, who hamstring, who knows if he'll be able to play next week. And Leonard Fournette, who same with him. Hurt his hamstring. Who knows if he's going to play next week. They did sign Le'Veon Bell, just the practice squad in case, emergencies. But they got the Panthers. They should rebound. As long as you got Tom Brady at the helm, I think you're going to be okay. Third, we got the LA Rams, who benefit from other teams losing, as that's why they're moving up here. Matthew Stafford played pretty good against the Seattle team, but they were kind of just going through the motions for the first half. Second half, they really stepped up, got bailed by the refs a little bit on a non-pass interference call. And now they got Minnesota in Minnesota. You win this game, you're a top 3 team. Like, you deserve to be up here. As Minnesota's been playing good ball, a team that could potentially be in the same spot as the Rams are now at 10-4, but they've just had close losses. And I think this game is going to come down to the run game for the Rams. We know Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Odell, Van Jefferson, how they can, take over a game. But I think Darrell Henderson's going to have to be the guy in this game against Minnesota's average defense. At number 2, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, where, at the beginning of the season, this is where they were. And they took that huge free fall when they were 3-4. And now they're 10-4, right back to where everyone thought they should be at the beginning of the year. Over a convincing win against the LA Chargers in their place, which, we're talking about the overtime rules. It's kind of unfair. But you got the Steelers, tough task as a team right now is having some COVID issues with Kelsey and Tyreek Hill, just to name a few names, on the COVID list, putting their, availability for Sunday in doubt. But I think, as long as Patrick Mahomes stays off the list, I think they really got a good shot to win this game, as this team's on fire right now. And at number 1, we got my Packers. Let's go. Coming off a huge win to not just win the NFC North, but solidify that you are a top team in the NFL against Baltimore. Got a little sketchy at the end, going for 2. I was a little nervous, but once I saw that ball hit the ground, I knew it was over. Thanks John Harbaugh for being super aggressive when you should just play it safe there. And now you got the Browns on Christmas Day. Got me, really excited for Christmas. Not obviously because I'm just spending it with my family, but I get to watch some football too. And nothing better than football and family. Should win big here, I think. Doesn't matter who the Browns put out there. I think Packers are just on fire right now. They're just too hot to lose this game, especially at home in Lambeau on Christmas. That's just a disaster for the Browns. But that's going to be it for our video today. Once again, Ethan unfortunately couldn't join us because he's too busy right now, or he's sleeping. And if you like this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing our power rankings up till the playoffs, and obviously in the playoffs as well for the 14 teams that make it. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.
She never called back.